Back in 2020, whenever we were all locked in our houses, I got the bright idea that I wanted to bedazzle my Alex drawers. And back then I wasn't really a YouTube content creator, but now I am. And every now and then my drawers appear in the background of footage, or I show them off while I'm going through my makeup collection and people always ask what I'm doing. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I do that. But I just want you to be aware, this is not my usual content. I'm not like a crafty person, and I try some things that I'm not actually sure will work, but I'm going to show you what I did this time, and we'll find out together over time whether or not these things worked. So the first thing you got to do is you got to go to your Alex drawer. I'm going to be using Ikea Alex drawers, but you could probably do this with any drawers. But if you want to do it word for word, the Ikea Alex drawers, a lot of people in the beauty space use these drawers. But first we got to take them off by unscrewing that thing and then pulling out the drawer. Very fancy, so easy, so breezy. And then we got to do it again with all the other drawers. And you may have noticed that I sure covered up what I was doing in that shop, but you literally just take a screwdriver and unscrew that and then pull it out. See, like I did there. Do you see that? Great. All right, we had to take all the hardware out, and instead of getting a tool like a normal person, I literally just used my hands, the brute force of my hands, which hurt, and I get a towel in a second. But beneath that, you'll see some rhinestone sheets. You can buy those. I'll link the ones I bought on Etsy, and you can check those out. The only reason I bought from them is because that was where I bought my first ones, and I have the same Ikea white drawers, and I also wanted to have the same color of sparkles so that they matched. So that's what we have right here. I'm showing it off, and then it's covered in plastic on both sides. Take off the plastic on both sides. These are iron-on rhinestones, so I don't really know how or what you would need a sheet of rhinestones for in fabric, but I'm going to use them on my drawers. That's what I did last time. And so right now I'm just lining them up to the edge, and I'm going to take a marker and sketch out the outline of the drawers. This way I don't have to hold the front of the drawer down while I'm cutting out, and I can just go without the drawer sitting on top of the rhinestones. Look at that, our little sketch, our little dead body sketch on the sidewalk. And now I'm gonna take an X-Acto knife and we're really gonna go at it. Now I highly recommend you use a fresh blade whenever you're doing this. I did put a cutting board underneath. I am working actually on the vanity that this drawer is going to, so I didn't want to mess up the top of the vanity, even though it's also from Ikea, so it's not something very special. But you can see I'm struggling here with the dull X-Acto knife. At some point I do change it. So my recommendation is always to go one rhinestone in from where you sketch, because it'll hang off the side of your drawer. You'll see in a moment here, I'm gonna like fix some hangover that I end up having. And when it comes to the curve, brute force through the curve, the rhinestones will choose one side or the other, and it always seems to work out. Unless you're super picky about that, you can really get into it. But I'm not. Just kind of like dragging the X-Acto knife through there is the best way I've found to do it. But yeah, you could probably be more precise, but I'm not that precise. So this is what we've ended up with. So let's compare it to the front of the drawer that I have. And you'll see that we have some overhang on the sides and a little bit within the handle. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it back over. And this time I'm going to use it as an outline so I can cut off the excess. A little bit of excess doesn't normally look that bad. You just don't want it too much excess, and you want it to be like even. But you can see right here, mine wasn't super even. So I'm just cutting off the excess, and now we're going to do it again and again and again and again. So these sheets, the size of these sheets, if you are using an Alex drawer, you can get 2 of the smaller drawers out of one sheet. With the other size drawers, the larger size, it's 1 sheet per drawer front. I also don't know how bad it would look if you lined up 2 sides together on the drawers, like if it would look uncohesive. I'm not really sure because I haven't done it, but we will be using some of the excess rhinestones for something else with the drawers. But Yeah, there will be a little bit of waste if you are doing it exactly like this. Now, one could stone one by one the front of the drawers, but I don't have that kind of time. I barely had the time to do this. So I got a new X-Acto knife, and you'll see whenever I made the cut, I actually just went straight across instead of trying to cut out the rounded edges the first time. And you'll see that that went faster, not only because it's 20 times speed, but it just went faster in real life too. I'm just showing you an example of cutting out the larger ones. See how I went straight across and I didn't cut down until afterward. I guess I forgot to take the plastic off of that one, which is why I didn't rip them off until the end. And you can see here that that went swimmingly. And there's not really much to cut off. So yeah, use a sharp X-Acto knife. As I said, these are iron-on rhinestones, so I'm going to use an iron. The first time I did this, I had some Gorilla Glue, and that's what I used to glue it. And I will be honest, the Gorilla Glue has held up. So I've never tried this before. This is my first time trying it like this with the actual adhesive on the back of the rhinestones. But one of the things I disliked about the original time I did this is that you can see where the glue bunched up and it's not a very even application. And that's my bad. I was rushing and I was winging it. So I wanted to try the iron. So I think you don't need the steam function. Whenever I watched a demo on how to do this on fabric, they used the steam function, but as you saw a little bit earlier, it steamed up my camera. And I also because the wood, there's no fabric, we're just putting it onto wood. I was like, well, I don't know if we need the steam. And if you've ever had Ikea furniture, you know, just a little bit of water will make it do weird stuff because it's like cheap wood. It's not, is it even real wood? I think it's plywood. And I basically just put my iron at full heat. It didn't seem to melt the rhinestones. And I tried putting the cloth in between to see if that would do something. I don't know if you need to do the cloth. Again, I really am winging it. And so this was actually successful and all of it is still in my drawers and none of it's starting to fall off. So this does work. You have to be careful with the corners. They like didn't want to go down. And I also think applying pressure, which I didn't do on the first application, was helpful. So I would say apply pressure the whole time. I wasn't really counting how long I did it. I was really just winging it. We're going to use some of the scrap for something else. I'm basically measuring it out here. If you use the same rhinestone sheets that I did, it will actually just be 7 rhinestones across for the width. You might actually want to do 6 rhinestones across. So what we're doing with these is we're going to put them on the inside. So whenever you look from the top down, there will be rhinestones on the top of the drawers. It's actually just a great little accent to it. You don't have to do this, but you're going to have probably leftover rhinestones. So this is a good way to use them. So I'm just cutting out enough for the rest of the drawers and we're going to apply them. So the way I applied them like a dingbat. I tried to use the iron again, which I really don't recommend. It was very unsafe. And I don't think enough heat applies to them with the iron. There's not enough air. Maybe there's different types of irons that might do this better, or maybe a heat gun would work. So I went back and I just Mod Podged the ones that go on top of the handle instead of using the heat method. And that has been successful as well. And so I just put everything back and this is what they look like. Wow, sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. So beautiful, so stunning, so gorgeous, so amazing. And yeah, you too can have this. So basically it's just a matter of making sure the sheets are large enough to at least cover the front of your drawers. If you like makeup content, I'd love to have you subscribe. That's what I normally do. And yeah, I hope this was helpful or you learned anything. I don't know that you really did, but a lot of people asked for this and I did it. Okay, bye.